Thanks for filling out your profile. Looking at the results, I'd say that you're in a category that I call rock and a hard place. Look, I've seen many business owners in the same situation as you, and at times it's not a pretty sight to see. It can be incredibly stressful to be in your current position of business growth. You're doing okay, you're turning over revenue, you're growing a little bit, and you're doing just enough to keep the business, to keep it going, but not necessarily to make it thrive. And this is not only taking up all your time, but it's also incredibly exhausting to run a business like this when you're not necessarily getting all the rewards that you know that you should be out of the business. And what I find is businesses like this often have a juggling act when it comes to money. So they're looking for money in order to do marketing, which would increase the amount of money they make. And they're trying to find the money for staff, but if they spend it on marketing, they don't have enough money for staff. Or what about yourself in this equation? We went into business, let's be honest, to make money ourselves, to be able to buy a nice house, nice car, you look after the family, etc. And often what we've got is we've got enough money to keep the business going, but not enough to even pay ourselves what we do, really should be earning at this stage in our lives. So it's a real rock and a hard place, and it's very compromising, because some of the things you need to do to grow, but you don't have the money to grow because the business hasn't grown. It's kind of weird, frustrating catch-22. One of our students at the Fortune Institute, I'll just call him by his first name, Anthony, had a very similar situation. So he was selling a service, and he was working his ass off, intelligent, motivated, experienced guy in his industry, but just had one or two staff and was really driving a lot of it himself, and expressed enormous frustration to us that he couldn't quite take his business to the next level. And what we did is we created a whole system of to help him generate more leads and to make more money virtually every sale that he made. So now you look at him now, and not only did he double his revenue in over a year, in just around a year, he also has had time for a holiday with his family and his two kids in a luxury setting, bought himself the car that he wanted to get, and is also living a much more balanced life. He's fitter than he was, etc., etc., etc. So we're very used to business owners at this stage, rock in a hard place, compromising themselves, not quite having enough money to do what they want to achieve and to build the business as they want. So Anthony's story is just one of many, but the truth is, I've got good news and bad news. Bad news is, having coached a lot of Australian entrepreneurs at the Fortune Institute, we're very, very clear that the bad news is, if you don't do something fundamentally different, then even if you're intelligent, you're unlikely to get a superior result. In 3 years' time, you may be in a similar position than you are now, that things have mildly improved, but you're getting more and more tired with the exertion of having to do so much yourself and not having enough cash flow to grow. So it's very important, I believe, that you understand, and I say this respectfully, that you must do something fundamentally different to take it to a new level. You can't just continue going down the road you're going, because it needs substantial change and improvement to get a different result. Now, the good news is I've got some concrete steps that could really help you. The first one is, I want you to buy a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. The Ultimate Sales Machine, by a guy called Chet, C-H-E-T, Chet Holmes. And Chet actually died a few years ago, quite young, but it's an outstanding book on how to really work on your revenue increasing and really create a system that grows your business step by step. Very, very powerful. My next tip is to always remember the profitable two. Now, I call it profitable two the one or two things that you do in your business in the course of a week or a month that actually generate an increase in income or are likely to lead to an increase in income. And most people have not really got super clear about what are the two things that could really grow my business that I do, rather than the admin and the meetings and stuff. So number one, get really clear on that. And number two, ask yourself, am I spending enough time during the week on these two things? Because it's our experience that your typical entrepreneur, it doesn't take more than a few minutes to work out what their most important tasks are, but then they suddenly realize that maybe they're only spending 10 or 20% of their time actually growing the business. Most of it's just managing stuff, and you've got to reverse that. And if you don't reverse that, you're never going to move to a quantum leap in how much revenue you're actually making. And the third recommendation is that you seriously consider our high achiever course. Now, hundreds of entrepreneurs like you have gone in there frustrated about their position in business, irritated with the level of money that they're making versus what they feel they should be, what they deserve to be, and they've come out of it where many of them with giant increases in revenue, huge increases in profit. You know, in our High Achiever program, one thing we make sure of is we don't do any kind of promises, guarantees about where you'll be, because it really does depend on the individual. But I will say this, there are many examples of people increasing their net income hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are numerous examples of people increasing their revenue multiple millions of dollars. I think the most done in a year from one of our clients is a 10 million increase in revenue. And you know, in their own words, they said it was very much to do with our High Achiever program. So we're talking about what I believe is the most effective business growth program, not just in Australia, but in the entire world. And I spend thousands of dollars myself studying what's happening in the world and doing many, many courses. And it's really cutting edge. It's taken us 3 decades to produce this course. And it's really about the real world of business, not the academic theories and what's these nice to haves about business, but what does it take to build your business fast? What does it take to take you to another level of income quickly? You see, where I came from, I never went to university. I never went to fancy schools of business. I had to actually make money or starve. And so if you want stuff that really works to grow your business, then you're going to love the High Achiever program. It has three fundamental strands to it that together create an unbeatable level of effectiveness in business building. The first is strategy. So we will show you stuff that I guarantee you have never heard of before, but as soon as you hear it, you know it's going to grow your business. And I'm absolutely prepared to stand by that. You are going to get this stuff and you are going to go, wow, I can apply this. Not over the next 6 months, I can apply it in the next week to potentially bring in a lot of revenue. So very, very powerful strategies, very unusual strategies. Not what you get at doing a business degree taught by college professors, but what you get from people who've made many, many millions of dollars in their own businesses. So number one, strategy. The second thing you get in the High Achiever program is accountability. You know, the truth is that if you just had someone, a coach keeping you accountable, you would get a lot more stuff done. You would grow a lot faster because you know a lot of stuff that you need to do, but you're probably not getting it done, or you're not getting it done either as well as you want to or as quickly as you want to. Now, just having our advanced coaching system and our coaches and mentors around you, keeping an eye on you, knowing what you've said you do in your business and helping you get there, well, that alone, just alone, will massively increase potentially the type of money that you're making. It certainly has for many, many Australian entrepreneurs who have been through the High Achiever program before you. And the third thing you get out of the High Achiever program is community. You know, it's not easy to hang around with talented, successful entrepreneurs. Where do you find them? It's not like all your friends are successful entrepreneurs. It's not like your family fully understand this mad venture that you've gone on. So what we find is that the community aspect of the High Achiever program, where you're sitting regularly all the way throughout the year with successful entrepreneurs like yourself, well, a lot of people think that's the most valuable part, because I'm not just talking about the camaraderie. I mean, although it is very interesting and entertaining to be with some of these people, it's what do they know? They can introduce you to people that can make you money. They can connect you to organizations, or even tell you about software that can really make you money. The combined mastermind of the group is very, very powerful. You have to qualify to get into the High Achiever program. You can't just say, I want to get into it. So everybody around you is a successful entrepreneur, and they are absolutely dedicated to helping you grow your business as well as them growing their own business. That's very, very powerful. So you get advanced business strategy that you are not going to know, I can assure you. You get accountability to make sure you perform as well as you should, and you get powerful community of successful entrepreneurs. Now, normally this course sells for around $2,500, including GST, per month. And let me tell you, a lot of people are delighted to pay that and do it for years because they know that the amount of money that they are making out of what they've learnt from the High Achiever program is so much more than the little tax deductible amount that they're paying for tuition. But I want to give you something pretty cool, something actually rather extraordinary. Because we're so confident this course is outstanding, we want to give you 30 days inside the High Achiever program for just $1. That's right, you pay us $1 and you will be fully inside our program for 30 days. Now think about that. Something that costs thousands of dollars a month normally, you get, without obligation, you get to be in and experience and use to build your business for an entire month for just $1. Now, if after that you think it's great, if you think it's brilliant, if you think it's going to make you a fortune, go ahead and do the course. If you don't, stop. With no pressure from us, no obligation from us. That's fine. You know, we're gentlemen about it. But it's an awesome course, and it has the upside is it could make you a multi-millionaire. The downside is you spend 30 days checking out the course. So it's, to me, if you look at risk reward, it is a total no-brainer to do our High Achiever program 30 days for just $1. So what I'd like you to do is just click the link, fill out the form, and apply to join the High Achiever program for just $1. Because this is an opportunity to not only take your business to a much higher level, but to take the entire quality of your life to a higher level for just $1. Can't wait to see you in the program. It will really rock you.